Well, the reactions that we've seen so far to the decision by the Ethiopian government have come first from the UN itself. We have the Secretary General saying that he is shocked by this decision. He urged Ethiopia to allow the UN officials to stay in the country. And we're talking about high-ranking officials here that now have 72 hours to leave the country. The list includes the head of UNICEF in Ethiopia, as well as the head of office of the UN's humanitarian agency. The UN has been one of the main actors responding to the humanitarian crisis in the Tigray region, where a conflict has been going on for almost a year now. But the strongest reaction so far about these expulsions has come from the United States. White House press secretary strongly condemned the decision and said that the US would not hesitate to take sanctions. She said that the move was a stain to collective conscience, and she urged the UN Security Council to take actions. US President Joe Biden had recently signed an executive order allowing Washington to impose sanctions on the parties to the conflict in Tigray that impede humanitarian access or commit human rights violations. It remains to be seen how this decision will further impact the already very difficult humanitarian response in Ethiopia, and in particular in the Tigray region.
Well, meanwhile, Maria, the UN has indeed consistently been warning about that humanitarian crisis in Tigray, and especially given that those expulsions concern those high-level UN officials who are involved in humanitarian work, what does that mean for the future of providing access to aid there?
Well, there is no doubt that the Tigray crisis and the humanitarian crisis there, although not explicitly mentioned in the letters that were issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, are the underlying topic behind these decisions. There is really pressing need for humanitarian aid in Tigray, with deaths from starvations already reported and hundreds of thousands facing famine there. Trucks carrying supplies into the regions are struggling on a daily basis to obtain access. The airspace remains closed, which means that the amount of food, medicine, and fuel that is actually reaching the population in Tigray is far from enough to cover the needs. And the UN has been very clear about the fact that insufficient aid supplies are reaching the region, and that hospitals are running out of medicine, of food, and services such as banking and telecommunications remain completely shut down. The Ethiopian government has repeatedly denied being behind this humanitarian blockade. It said that the Tigrayan leaders of the TPLF are responsible for the situation. But in any case, the decision by the Ethiopian government sends a clear message to any international organizations wishing to speak up about the situation in Tigray or criticize the government's handling of the humanitarian crisis there.
And will surely make coordination on the ground more difficult, Maria, as you suggest. Thank you so much. We'll have to keep it there. Moving on now.